Hi everyone. Well, I've just eaten the last chocolate off the Christmas tree. I'm just taking the tree down and all my decorations. It looks awful. Oh, I don't like taking them down. But anyway, I have to take a little bit down each day and then rest, and then a little bit rest. You know what it's like. So yeah, I found I always had a chocolate for me, and this year Maya, my granddaughter, one of my granddaughters, I said, have the chocolates off the Christmas tree. That's so I won't eat them because I am on a low carb diet. Anyway, she found two, and I said, I always hide one for me, but I'm not telling you where that is. I forgot where it was. Anyway, she found one, and I thought, oh, she's found it. Anyway, I've just taken everything, well, almost everything off the tree and just having a little rest. And I found a chocolate. Cadbury's! Ooh. So yeah, I've just had my last chocolate for this year. Hopefully it's for this year if I'm good enough. I may not be because I'm not always very good. But I went to see my doctor the other day, and I'd only put less than £1 on over. I seen them just before Christmas. So from Christmas to New Year, well, was it the 11th yesterday or the 12th? Anyway, he basically said, oh, you haven't put much on. So, because last year I put a lot on. But anyway, I think it's with sticking to getting straight back onto the low carb diet. And then having lots of greens. I do a nice green. It's a cabbage, shredded cabbage, cottage cheese. It's not like cottage cheese when you bake it. You blend everything up. I might do that one day. But yes, so he was quite pleased that I'd only put, half a pound on. I was shocked. I was very, very shocked. But anyway, we all know what it's like, don't we, after New Year, and we're all going to go back and eat healthily. The main thing I would say is try not eat processed food. That's what my doctor says to me, and he is so right. Some of the stuff they put in the food, I've actually started milling my own wheat now. Me? I'll show you. Well, I'll show you the machine. Oh, my hands are really bad today. That's I don't know if I'm getting this right, but this is my machine that I mill my own wheat. There's the name of it. I don't know if you can see, it'll be backwards, won't it? But it's amazing. And the other thing is, I don't buy wheat from England because it's sprayed. It's sprayed with all kinds, and it's modified. It was modified in I'm not sure if it was 1950. Anyway, it was modified. If you remember when you were a child and you run through I remember as a child, I used to run through the wheat on the field, and it nearly covered me. I must have been about 5 or 6, but it nearly covered me. It was great fun. And now the wheat is tiny. It's tiny. I should research all this, shouldn't I? Someone actually sort of modified it so the stem would be shorter, so they would get a better yield from the actual wheat berries. So if you can imagine, everyone knows what a wheat berry is, the wheat sheaf, and this berries, little grains. We call them just grains, don't we? So one of them wheat heads, say for example, it had 10 little seeds on it, which we grind into flour. When it was modified, you'd get 20, 30, 40 of them, but the stem would be shorter. So, which is great to feed all the population that they needed to feed then, because after the war, everything was quite scarce, wasn't it? But what they didn't know, that it was going to affect our health. And then years and years ago, it was like they had flour the wheat was ground, the wheat berries were ground with stone, and now they're not. We all had millers in each village, and everyone lived round them, so they'd just go and get the flour and he'd mill it. It's normally, I think there was a horse, it was horse-drawn, wasn't it? It was like two massive big stones, and the horse would walk around, poor thing, and mill the flour all day. And then people would go and buy it and bake the bread. And there was nothing in it, just wheat. That's all it was. But now it's chemicals, sprayed with chemicals. There's a lot going on, and then we've got the factories. The mills all went, and then they started. People were, oh, bread's good, isn't it? So let's make money out of it. So they opened these massive big factories, which are still here today, obviously, and they are making junk bread, just junk bread. Even the artisan bread that they're all popped up with now. We do a sourdough. Well, you're still getting the same wheat, aren't you? The wheat that I buy is it's from England. I get it from England, but they import it from Italy. So Italy is one of the, well, we all know, well, it's sunnier there than in England. So obviously sun is good for flowers and grains and everything, plants, veg. So Italy is, and the flour I get, the berries I get, is spelt, which is an ancient wheat. It goes back to the day of Jesus, and before, I suppose. Before he was born, and women used to go and get the wheat, and there was no chemicals then, was there? We didn't spray anything. They didn't spray anything. There was no way they would know how to spray anything. They didn't have the chemicals. So their berries were wheat berries were pure. And my doctor doesn't like me eating bread, but I did say to him one day, I love bread. It's in fact, I'll have to find a photo that I had where my daughter and my daughter-in-law actually brought me for my birthday a cake, but it wasn't a cake. It was a bread. It was like 3 breads or 2 breads on top of each other, fresh bread. That's before I started getting into, all this processed food, or avoiding when I can processed food. It's in everything, and it's absolutely terrible that they're doing this to us and to our children. So yeah, I love bread. So that's why I decided. I used to make my bread years and years ago, and then I stopped when the kids went. But now I did start making a sourdough. I've got a sourdough that I made, and it's called Ambush. And that one, my first one was Seymour, because, the Seymour eats everything and grows. And that's what I thought of the name for it, because it was like, it grew. You give it more flour and it grows each day. So I started doing it like that, but I still didn't find it was... I don't like very, very hard bread. And it will go harder because again, if you use spelt, that there's no bad stuff in it. It's ancient wheat, actually. It's still, they grow it in Italy in the sun, and it's they don't spray it. It's organic. So, and it's proved to be absolutely amazing. When I make another batch, I'll show you some of them. But yeah, going back to when I was a child, I used to run through the wheat, or walk through the wheat, and it used to cover me. Every kid loved that, but now you couldn't do it. Now it would go up to your knees. Well, no, it wouldn't even go that far. It would go up to just over your ankle. It's that short. Just have a look when you go out. If you go in the countryside, have a look at the wheat fields. They're very, very short, and they're all drooped over, most of them. And that's what they're doing. And now that I've heard hearsay that they're actually going to start spraying now with fluoride, due to pregnant women. But we're not all pregnant. Give them fluoride drops like we used to have when I was having a baby or whatever. But no, we shouldn't be eating. We should have a say in what we're going to eat, what we put in our mouth. And, you know, we're just ruled by these factories who are making... I'm going on a bit here, aren't I? But it annoys me, because they all should be sued, really. How dare they mess about with our food? We don't want chemicals in it. We just want normal food. And that's why years and years ago, when I was a little girl in Liverpool, if you heard of someone dying, it was always of old age. It was never of, oh, you know, they got cancer, or they got this, or they got that, or they're suffering with this, they're suffering with diabetes. I'd never heard of diabetes. So and it is all the food, the chemicals and what they're putting in our food. And that's why we're all getting sick. And now they're spraying the air with, I don't know, some kind of thing to stop the sun from shining. And it's not just now. Keir Starmer said something about he's going to do it because it's going to help the planet. No, it was done years ago. If you talk to your granddad or anything like that, ask them about the skies and these planes going across. There's an app you can get now, and you can actually go on and see where they're spraying. Yesterday, I got a notification from my friend who said, look at this, Jean. And they were spraying Bearscough, Rufford. Well, not so much Rufford, but it's going to travel, isn't it? And I have seen them in the skies. Next time, in fact, I think I took a photo of it, a video when I was talking to my son on the phone. And on my boat, I've got a skylight. And I was just sitting here with my legs up on the settee, and I seen these planes going over, and I went, that's odd. These planes keep going over, and there's a trail. He went, oh, they're just jets. I went, no, because the trail's staying. I said, I've heard about this. And yeah, that's what it was. But yesterday, apparently, or the day before, I forget everything. But they had loads and loads of trails, and there's some people who are against it, they follow it, and they actually can get the trails to see where the trails are. And they said they're in Southport, all over Southport. They went, what's this going on here? And it was just absolutely full of, oh, my hand's hurting, just a minute. Position. Yeah, so there's, they shouldn't be doing this, should they? There's a lot that they're doing. It's only Tony, she's going out. No barking. Ted's barking again at Tony, and he loves Tony. She's my neighbour she's a Dutch barge next to me. Yeah, so they're doing a lot. They're doing a lot of things that they shouldn't be doing. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to go on too much about that. This was supposed to be a happy video about me eating my lost chocolate. It's not happy I'm eating my lost chocolate, really. No, I don't mind. You get used to it. And I always buy 85% cocoa dark chocolate from Aldi. It's really good. It's in individual pack. It's in a big pack, but it's in individual ones. I think there's about maybe 5 or 6 bars in it. So, you know, it's and you don't need a lot of it because it's very strong, isn't it? But that is actually good for you. And there was something on YouTube the other day saying it was really good for your dark chocolate. And I've always known that. So I buy that. And when I was a child, I didn't like dark chocolate. Ugh, horrible, bitter. But this isn't as bitter now. So, and you don't need a little bit of it just to get that craving of chocolate. Not that I'm a chocoholic or anything. I used to love fruit and nut and whole nut. Oh, yeah. And marathons. Remember marathons? They're not sneakers. They're marathons. That's what they were called when I was a kid. Marathons. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to go now because, as I say, it's I'm going on too long. So have a lovely day, everybody. I hope everything goes well for you today, and you're lucky. Stay safe. Bye-bye.